ChatGPT 5 is finally here, and it's loaded with tons of new features, including some that other people aren't talking about. More about that in just a minute. First, we got to look at some of the things that this can do, some of the things it can't do, so that you can run your business. Today, I'm going to fire up ChatGPT version 5 and show you exactly how I'm using it in my business right here, right now. This is super important because oftentimes we can get distracted by a new tool that looks good, but even though it might be cheaper, save us money, or help us, it might be costing us time. It might be distracting us from the goal of actually building a business. This is super important, and in the age of AI, focus is going to be more needed than ever. This is something we want to pay attention to. Now, some of the things that I see here is reduced hallucinations, improved accuracy. Also, there was hints that this was going to be finally the model that leads us to AGI, which I haven't seen anything close to that yet. Also, we are seeing that this is pretty much rolled out to all users, and once it's in your account, you can't go back. So you can't go back to 3.5 or 4 or any other model. Once you're upgraded to 5, that's it. You're stuck using number 5. Now, going through here, we can see that the API access is actually quite expensive. It is doing lots of stuff, they're saying, for the coding world. However, I have an interesting take on this, which we're going to get into in just a minute. We can see that it can do all different kinds of things like professional documentation. It is creating all kinds of things that we can use in our business, articles, reports, and pretty much everything. Now, looking at this, we want to use it to create content and articles that are actually good. It's always important to have that human intervention, that human interaction there, where we're not just letting the AI tool do everything. And it's also important to look at the fact that when passing different things, sure that your stuff is not copied, we also want to go through and make sure it's not like reworded either. We want to have something unique. So while these can help you in these certain aspects, we want to go through and look at what they're going to do with a fine-tooth comb and see how they're going to help in our business. This training is going to be all about how I'm using ChatGPT 5 in my business. Super important. Now, one of the things I wanted to note also is the fact that ChatGPT 5 is immensely slower than other models, which I think might be interesting, seeing how so many people are using ChatGPT now as a search engine. I think this is going to hinder the growth of ChatGPT as a search engine, which is probably good news for Google since their AI overviews happen pretty much instantly. We can also see it's very good at document review, legal research, although I wouldn't use it in place of a lawyer, analyzing lots of documents, different benchmarks, and I find that it's actually very good at brief overviews of a topic that you want to go deeper into research on, such as an article, a blog post, a report you're writing, or anything like that. Simply put, ChatGPT 5 can help you make money, but I think it's imperative that you pay close attention to this video and see exactly what it'll help you with so that you don't go down the rabbit hole of thinking that this AI tool is a miracle and it's going to do all the work for you. That has yet to happen. And we could see here there's a lot of people talking about what this ChatGPT 5 launch means and how it's changing the AI world. Many are touting that this is PhD level intelligence. So if you're ready, smash that like button. Let's fire up ChatGPT version 5, put it to the test, and show you exactly how I'm using it to make money online. Come on, let's go to work. All right, so here we are in ChatGPT version 5. We're going to take a look at this line by line with a fine-tooth comb, talking about some of the features that other people aren't talking about, and line by line, how I'm using this in my business to make money. It's very important that we know which tools are used for which tasks so that we can stay on topic and actually build a business that works. This is super important. A lot of people miss this and they get caught up in all the hype of the new tools, and sometimes it's kind of lackluster. There were some things here in ChatGPT 5 that I was like, yeah, that doesn't really help me. So we're going to go through and give you an honest opinion rundown of how it works. Now, we can see on our initial report that a lot of people are getting access to this. They're saying it's PhD level, fancy stuff, advanced reasoning, and everything like that. Now, I also went through some of the videos and looked at some of the case studies of how people say that this will be used, like content repurposing, tone and style guidance, refined writing, which some of this is new, but most of it is not. So again, it's not like some miracle, but there are some things in this tool that I'm going to be using that help big time. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what would we want to do. First off, I found that no one's talking about it yet, but there is a capability that didn't really work as planned where you could actually go through and give a video, right? I was able to upload a 200 megabyte video. It was compressed. It was like a 30-minute video. And I was able to get some data on it. This is the first time we've ever seen this where you can give it a video. And it looks like from the data, because it's showing us what it's talking about, it looked like that it was actually able to take the audio, separate it. It wasn't able to transcribe it, but the fact that it thought about it means they might have it in the future. And not only that, but something even more important is the fact that it was going through and trying to understand the frames of the video. This is the first time I've seen this in an AI tool that's this popular, where it'll go through and understand the video. Now, it didn't do it yet, so I was a little bummed out. I thought that was going to be like the big kahuna here, but that does seem to be something they're going to have very soon. So, pretty cool stuff. Right now, we're limited to go get your transcript somewhere else, throw it in here, and there you go. Or you could use the dictation mode and play your video in the background or something like that. Okay, very important. Now, going through that was one of the things I'm really excited about. And that's something that once it comes out, we're giving you the heads up that, hey, this looks like something they're going to add. I'm not absolutely positive yet, but it seems headed that way. And with the AGI agenic capabilities, that's something I will use big time. Now, we do see that capability in NotebookLM. In NotebookLM, we can go over here and actually add a video link or something like that. You can't upload it, but if the video is online, it can get it usually from different sites and things like that if they have the ability to see the video. It's not going frame by frame. It's pretty much, I think, just looking at the text of the video. So again, if ChatGPT does that, I'm going to be all over that. That's going to be really cool. Now, one of the other things I noticed is I was trying to make some code. I actually designed this new toolbar thing in ChatGPT 5. And I noticed it went through some loops. It had some trouble. It dropped some things. It added some things. It took things out, all kinds of stuff like that. However, when I went through, I was remedying an issue in a WordPress plugin where on mobile, it would make the logo and the style look really funny. So what I did is I came over to ChatGPT side by side with Claude, because I know Claude's usually really good at this stuff. However, both Claude and ChatGPT failed at the task, but ChatGPT did something important, and I believe that this is really big when it comes to how the AI actually thinks. And what ChatGPT did that nobody is talking about is it actually troubleshooted and found a workaround. So instead of just fixing the file, which it didn't do yet, it still is struggling, it's going through a loop. Again, that would be crazy. It would take a bunch of time. As a business owner, it would cost me more money than it's worth. It'd be better just to hire a programmer. However, what this did is it gave me a little fix where it's like, paste this into the CSS of your WordPress. It'll work the way you want it without changing the plugin. That was kind of cool, and it helped me understand more. So it thought different. It found a fix very quickly. Now, going through that was really good. I like the fact that it thought about a fix because then I could take that fix to Claude, who in my opinion is a much stronger programmer, and say, hey, fix this thing, or even Gemini or whatever it is. Now, with the programming capabilities of ChatGPT 5, I find that it's really good in its own loop. Like if you're creating a new tool, if I come over here and say, make a cool game for, I don't know, let's do mouse jumping basketball or something like that. Okay, it'll do that because it's actually coming from that environment, so it's creating it in a closed loop, where if I take a plugin that I have designed with a different one or my programmer and I want to add to it, that kind of throws ChatGPT for a loop. Now, another thing you're going to notice is you do have the details here. They'll come up, but it is taking like 10 minutes to get an answer. Like sometimes, and I don't know if that's because a lot of people are using it, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's just kind of slow. So having the code quick fix was a big deal. because I can go through and fix something. As an entrepreneur, when you have a business, sometimes you just need to like duct tape the thing and make it work, right? I need to just get some kind of fix, make the customers happy, and then go through and finalize the big patch later. So I really like that about ChatGPT 5. However, coding, fixing, it did kind of struggle. Now, as far as like passing all the AI tests and stuff like that, I did a side-by-side comparison. This was straight from ChatGPT. It was roughly, I think, 2,500, maybe 3,000 words. It was pretty good. It thought differently. And I did notice 0 copied text, and on the AI detector, 0. Now, I did check in like Quillbot and some others, and I did see, okay, yeah, it did actually pass as human, which is kind of cool. Now, of course, that's what happened with ChatGPT, the first version. We all remember when ChatGPT first came out, it looked human to everything. And then as time went on, the checkers got better, ChatGPT got better. It was like a big cat and mouse game. But it did pass right out of the get-go gate thing with 0, which was good. So I'm going to say, yes, it did pass on that. Now, another thing I did note, these are the notable mentions, and then we'll go through some other stuff as well. The other thing I noticed was the ability to create multiple images. So we were able to create these charts based on the report that I wrote, or it wrote, which was pretty cool. I mean, they're not great. They're okay. However, I was going through and I was working on thumbnail designs. And even though I didn't really like them, it did make several and put them in a zip file. So that was kind of cool. And we can also test and say, okay, let's go to ChatGPT regular, just so it doesn't take so long. Make an infographic for love. Let's do 4 AI types or models. Let's just do AI types, okay? And uses. 5, please. Let's see what it comes up with here. I want to see if the text is still on point, because that was something I really liked with ChatGPT 4, was it did do image and text really good. And again, this is all about stuff that we're going to use in our business. So the ability to do multiple images was good. The images weren't that great. Like if you look at the images here, I mean, this is the thumbnail, and it just got completely chopped. However, it did put like nice little borders around the text, which is cool. It had some other examples like this one, a little bit better. Nothing really that great. However, the ability to make multiple was pretty good. And it looks like it's actually making this infographic long ways, which is good that it understood that. Before, you would just make it and it'd do, whatever size it thought was good. That way, like if I had to go use it on Instagram, it wouldn't be that great. So thumbnail, it understands the size. I think it did understand the sizing of the thumbnail too. So that was kind of cool. So we are seeing advancements there. And these are advancements that we're going to use in our business. Definitely making thumbnails and stuff like that's pretty big. So multiple images is good. We're going to wait and see how this one comes out. So we'll move this over here and check that towards the end as well. Now, going through and making the game, we can see it's mapping that out. I'm guessing it's going to make it in React first. So we might want to say, make it in PHP so I could use it on cPanel or something like that. Okay. Pretty cool, pretty good stuff. Again, not earth-shattering stuff, but it is something that we can work with and build things that will actually get us ahead. Now, one other thing that a lot of people were not talking about, I don't think I've seen anyone mention ChatGPT 5 as a sales letter generator. Up until now, the king of sales letters has been DeepSeek. It's phenomenal. I don't know what it is, but it just understands human nature in a crazy good way. However, there's 2 things I want to note here. ChatGPT 5 not only wrote a stellar sales letter, right? I went through here. This is a really good sales letter. What I did was I just said, hey, look at Marcus Campbell's Blog Profit Network and imagine there's an AI-powered WordPress plugin, sell it. And it went through and it did pretty good. So like how to instantly turn your blog into a money machine, even if you failed before, or whatever it is. Kind of cool. Obviously, I'd probably change this. It's a little heavy. Like that's not actually what it's going to do. It will help you, but it's not going to automate it. So going here, we could see, what if you take 25 years of marketing, the kind of knowledge that's made me millions, and install it in your blog in less than 5 minutes? Boom, that's a great hook. Going through it also names the product, talks about instead of paying me for private coaching, why this changes, has bullet points. I think for sales letters, this is good. Obviously, there needs to be human editing to make sure it's true, make sure it's good. Obviously, I don't want to say like, this is a money machine, because it's not. We're going to go through and we are going to make it more honest. I don't think the AI did that great of that part. But everything else looks pretty solid, like call to action. It actually, this actually went through and it knew what was inside the plugin, and I don't have this written online anywhere. So I don't know if it's like a mind reader, if it just made this, but that's pretty cool. That looked good. Maybe it's just because those are the common features most tools have. I don't know. But this actually went through and did a pretty good sales letter. It is formatted nicely. I like that. That was pretty cool. Now let's say, yes, do the full 10K word one. What I wanted to test here is word quantity. A lot of people, you'll do ChatGPT, you get like a 500 word article, which is good, but sometimes we want more for SEO purposes or whatever. So what I noticed is that ChatGPT version 5 gets pretty close. Like if you ask it for 1,000 words, it'll give you 1,000. If you ask it for 3,000, it'll give you 3,000. And again, these are passing all the tests and everything like that, which is really good, where it's like, okay, it's human, it's not copying, stuff like that. Now, this is new. I noticed that, not Manus, DeepSeek would have like these fake testimonials, which again, you don't have the rights to these. These are not real. So if you were to copy and paste this, you would be liable for not having real stuff there. Okay, so now we're going through, let's see this. Yeah, go for it. It looks like it's going to add little bullet points and Gary Halbert, I think it is. Yeah, Gary Halbert style stuff, which is cool. So now it's going to go through and do all of that. And it's understanding sales letters, price anchoring. That's pretty good. Like the depth of thought there is pretty good. So for Sales Letter Builder, and again, I'll have these notes over at aiprofitscoop.com with some other tools and things that I'm using with ChatGPT 5 as well. So big idea hook, headline, yes, lead, credibility. I'm going to not check that, even though it does put testimonials. They're not real, so don't use them. Offer stack, yes, benefits, guarantee, scarcity, call to action, postscript, looking pretty good. So now we go through, yeah, try it. Let's see. It looks like it doesn't want to make the full giant one, but there we go. Okay, so now it's doing that. What if you could plug my 25 years of marketing experience directly into your blog? Boom. I love that. That's pretty cool. Now it's going through and doing all this other stuff. Back to pain of my first blog. Back in 1999, when I was just a guy with a computer, a cheap hosting account, a big dream. How hard could it be? Let's see if it messes up, because blogs didn't really exist in 1999. This is why I got to proofread this stuff. But it does look pretty good. Gone from $12 to my first 5-figure month. Okay, fast forward 25. So it did kind of gloss over that, which is cool. And then it has like how it works inside the plugin, proof that it works, again with the fake testimonials. So it's doing a good job. Now I see that like it is not doing the 10,000 words. It is just stuck there. Do this part, please. I think it's asking us to go piece by piece. So if you're going to make a big article, ChatGPT might not be the one for that. I would say if you're going to do a giant article, maybe check out something like Manus. Manus, I've had it write 100,000 word articles before. Now it takes all day, but you just go and do something else and come back or run it at night. Pretty simple there, pretty cool. I like that. Now, going through here with sales letters, I would say this is a big improvement. And if you want to learn all the skills and stuff that I use in my business, which are imperative to making money with AI, check out aiprofitscoop.com. We're going to have some info, and I'll have all the notes from this video as well. Now, does it have a clear purpose and feature set? Yes, I think it's pretty solid. It's an AI tool. We all know what it's supposed to do. There are some new things I think we're going to have to pay attention to as well, like the video and stuff. Performance and quality, I think, is good. Speed, I'm going to give it a 2. This is one of the slower ones I've seen without agenic qualities, right? Like Manus, I don't care that that's slow because it's going out there and doing everything for me. This one, I don't want it to be slow. I want it to be fast. I expect ChatGPT to be fast. Business case uses. Can it generate or enhance text? Let's see how it did with the infographic. Not bad. I like that. That's almost usable right out of the gate. Machine learning pattern detection, AI neural networks, image recognition, natural language. It's okay. Let's see this other one. Hey, I put my picture on it. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I guess I'm general AI, apparently. I have not gotten an improvement. I'm just the general AI. Reinforcement learning. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it works, right? And I like how it like made my hand not part of it. That's kind of cool, right? It's like, hey, check this out. It's like coming out of the thing. My face looks a little creepy. I think, I don't know if you think that looks scary, let me know. It looks a little weird. But at any rate, it is improving. Can it generate enhanced text or content? Yes. Edit images? Yes. Produce or enhance video? I'm going to say yes soon. It looks like it's going to be soon. Can it convert audio? It can understand. I don't think it can convert. Let's say make an audio file saying the ABCs. Let's see if it'll do that. I don't know if it will. I don't think so. But hey, that's what these tests are for, right? We want to see what we could use this for. Useful for social media marketing, 100%. Valuable for email, 100%. So it did not. Maybe. I don't know. We might get one. Let's see. Beneficial for advertising, yes. Helps with website optimization, 100%, especially with the sales letter stuff. Assist with market research, yes. Analyze competition, yes. Valuable for data processing, patterns, trends, yes. Looking good. So we're seeing that there is a lot that this does. I think writing content, again, that's going to be its strength. Analyzing big, bold pieces of content, writing stuff that seems unique, seems good. I would say, again, having the prompting and understanding what's going on is a big deal. So now going through, let's see what else we have. We had another one, which I was going through NotebookLM, and I noticed a new feature on NotebookLM. I know this is supposed to be about ChatGPT, but I noticed that it actually makes videos. So this is NotebookLM making a video. I don't know if it has audio or not. So, like, check this out. This is pretty cool. Let's see if it has audio.
All right. Let's talk
it does.
GPT-5. The hype is, well, it's everywhere, right? But what does it actually?
That's pretty cool.
It's about being a genuine.
It does brand it as NotebookLM, but like that straight up made a video, which is pretty cool. So again, this is, you know, you got to look at the tools for what you're going to want them for. Like for me, I'm going to stick with Claude and Gemini for programming. I'm going to stick with NotebookLM for video, audio, stuff like that. ChatGPT, I do like for sales letters. It's pretty cool. It can do some light programming and stuff like that. It is a lot better with text and depth of thought, like having all these Q&As is pretty cool. So going through there, and I think, does it support custom posts? Yes, it works with custom posts. Can I use it for YouTube scripts? Yes. Yeah, so this is pretty solid. I mean, 50 Q&As, and it looks like they're pretty good. Ours is a 60, so that missed that. Is it beginner friendly? Yes. Does it include analytics? Yes. Can I cancel? Duplicate? So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, that's solid. It is honest here, right? There you go. It's not a magic tool. So looking at that, I think it is doing a really good job text-wise. Image-wise, not the greatest. As far as audio, it'll create this. So it's telling you how to create it, which is like, okay, I could do that in 11 Labs a lot easier. Going through over here, looking at, again, it's passing all the tests there. With the coding, I did like the fact that it allows you to run the code and test it. That's something new. I didn't see that in the previous version of ChatGPT. And that's probably only stuff that'll work within the environment. So if we go and check on the game that we created earlier, I think it was over here. Let's see. This was not the game. I don't think this was the game. Yeah, this was a code I was working on. So here's the basketball game. Okay, let's close this and see if that run button comes up. Doesn't look like it's giving us a run option. Okay, so it gives us a zip. It's weird that it doesn't say run. Run the game in here, please. Let's see if that works. Okay, it's going to take a while on that. Whenever you're in GPT-5 Pro, it is going to take a while to do the thinking. And let's see if this made in React. It looked like it was HTML, so theoretically I could just download it. Complete list mouse game. Okay, let's try just downloading it and see if it worked right out of the get-go. There we go, starting download. And we'll just extract it. So we'll just go like this, extract, and it should work really simply. Okay, so here we go. Mouse jumping basketball. So here's our game. I don't know how to play it because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, there he goes. I wonder what he's supposed to do. Maybe he's got to get up here. Is he the basketball? I don't know. That's kind of weird. But at any rate, maybe a space bars or something? I don't know. Probably best if we read the directions, which I'm not a big fan of reading directions. I don't got that kind of time. But at any rate, this looks pretty cool. It does have sound with it. Looks like a little progress bar. I mean, the visuals are kind of cool. So, you can make little games and things like that, which is good. And there are ways to build a business around a game. We talk about that stuff all the time. Now, going through here, I'm seeing, again, text, sales letters. Those are going to be the big ones. Can it help with customer stuff? It can. It could probably help like understanding, give it a bunch of data about your business like this. If I kept going about this, it would keep gathering information about Marcus Campbell, Blog Profit Network, and it would build that up so that I can start making other things, which is pretty cool, right? I like that. Now, as far as the images, ABCs, the audio did not work. It did understand what I wanted here because I was like, okay, is it okay to say this certain thing in a thumbnail or a title or whatever? Kind of helped me with that. I don't know if I actually liked its answer, but it did help. Again, it made this tool. So I think going through with the pricing, they do have a free tier. Their pricing is pretty cheap. I think it's still $20 a month, pay as you go, a subscription. So $20 a month, not much there. I actually, for me in my content business, because this makes it so much easier to write, I think that I'm going to have my content writers need to make more now because like you kind of don't even have to check and see if it's copied anymore. I mean, you always should, but you're getting a lot more better stuff that is not copied, which is great. So it takes less time to put together a good article. Enterprise pricing, they do have available. It's super expensive. Cost considerations, cost effective, $20. Yeah, this is a tool you're definitely going to use. Pricing structure is flexibility. ROI. ROI on AI tools is elusive. Are you going to buy a $20 tool and make a gazillion dollars? Of course not. It has to do with what you do with that tool. That's why these videos are about what am I going to do? I'm going to write articles, make good blog posts. I'm going to research topics. I'm going to make good things, infographics, stuff like that in a real world way. I don't want something that's going to slow me down, which is why I use multiple tools. I mean, we pay for so many AI tools here. It's not even funny. Now, is that smart? Was just starting out? No, you need to get what's going to help you. If I was just starting out, I would probably go for Manus because it can do a lot more. Now, it does cost a lot. You're going to run out of tokens pretty quickly if you're at the 39 plan, but it seems like they give me a lot of tokens anyway, which is kind of cool. But having this do the research, what it's about is the preliminary stuff. A lot of people are looking for, I'm going to get this AI. It's going to spit out this perfect video. Like over here. Oh, yeah, here you got a perfect video. Okay, could I use this for a Faceless channel? I could, but it's got the NotebookLM. Google's going to know it's AI, right? So monetization is going to be affected by that. And again, there's nothing unique other than, hey, I put a bunch of prompts or a bunch of content in here and it spit out something. Now, could I go and make it specific? I probably could. Okay, I could probably go to the mind map and understand, okay, well, what's good, what's not good, how can I use it? With ChatGPT, if this is the only tool I had, I'm going to use it for a writing and coding assistant. Images, it's okay. Like when I go through and I need like a background image with no text, boom, it nails it. If I need something with text, it starts to get a little wonky, starts to get a little funny. However, like this stuff here was okay. The first one was good. The rest are like, okay, yeah, you can't even read that. Here's one that, again, is kind of weird. So looking at that and understanding what's going on, can I use some of these? Yeah, this would take the place of having like Napkin or another generator of, charts and things. And this actually looks a lot like Napkin. So, I mean, that's 2 tools in one, which would be kind of cool. You do have to redo them, like, redo the last one so all text fits in boxes. And then what you can also do is give it this one to a different tool and have it enhance it. But this is kind of cool because it's like, okay, here it wrote the article and then it made images, so I can make a pretty good blog post out of this. Pretty cool. I also like that it does allow us to download everything as zips. That's super helpful, saves a lot of time because then I can just drag and drop stuff. The key to using AI, and don't miss sight of this, it has always been and will always be the saving of time. That's what it's about. And if you don't lose that distraction and you don't think, oh, hey, this is going to do some miracle stuff. If you're like, no, it's just saving me time. It'll save me time in putting together slides. It'll save me time in doing research. It'll save me time in making a rough draft for a sales letter that I can edit later. It'll save me time in compiling this data, making these images. If we can have it save time, that's key. Just yesterday, we did a video here, which I'm going to go deeper into why I made the live stream yesterday the way I did. And what I did is I actually turned that live stream. So I started it out in AI. I got the big list. If you didn't watch it, I'll put the link in the description. Watch it and wait for Monday's video. It's all going to make sense and you'll be like, oh, I get it. What we want is that aha moment so that you understand exactly how this is going to work. So what I did is AI made the notes for the video. I specifically made it to be chopped up into over 100 different pieces. And then what I did is I had it make notes on the video. And then down here somewhere, I actually had a download, which this is what Manus did, where it actually made all of the skills talked about as a slide. So here's a slideshow saying, here's the average cost, here's what it does, here's the tools to use. I mean, if you don't think this is value, if you do, say value or awesome value as a comment below. And we do have this over at AIProfitScoop.com, which is great. And you can get that and see that's what saved me time. It would have taken me days to make this report. I didn't even have to research it or anything. All I have to do is do my commentary on it, and boom, it understands it and makes it work. So ChatGPT 5 is a game changer for certain things. Don't get locked into thinking it's the be-all, end-all. This will help you, but you need to know what you're using it for. Does it do AGI? No. No multimodal, no context. Not at the AGI level. So I'm not seeing any of this. All right? Is it going to be in the future? Yeah, I think they're setting up for it. Is there limitations? Is there a learning curve? Yeah, it is a little bit tougher to work with. Like, it's not like they said in the preview where it's like, oh, just think of a prompt and voila, you get a whole business. Is there tech limitations? Not really. Integration with existing? Yeah, it did have trouble with the WordPress stuff. Legal or ethical? All AI has legal and ethical concerns. You just have to. Scalability? No, I think it'll help you scale. I think definitely will help you. My final assessment is sales letters, content, written. I'm going to say also the little charts are good. We saw that in 3.5 and 4 as well. I'm going to say also depth of thought and specifics. Like thinking about how I can get specific content. How does this work for that? If I'm going through and saying, how does maybe like the love languages report we did here, maybe you could go through and say, how would, Plato or Aristotle have thought about this, or put something different that other people aren't thinking about, and you're going to get a much, much better result. Making games, making tools, stuff like that, pretty cool. So it looks like it made the visuals with the PDF. Okay, let's see if it made it. All right, that failed. It's like a big fail there. Flowchart V2, let's see if this got it. It's struggling with the text on the images. So again, that's kind of difficult. So I'm not going to use it for that. But I will use it for light programming, game making, maybe even website creation. You can do that. But the big things are going to be the video understanding. When that comes out, I'm going to be all over it. Code and quick fix. I like that it gave me a quick workaround that thinks like an entrepreneur, which is super important. Did it pass all the detectors and stuff? Yes, it did. That was great. Again, we're using this for business purposes. Multiple images with our notes, big. Sales letter, big. I think for content text, this is going to be a go-to for a lot of people. I think it does think differently and understand things differently, and it's nailing down the numbers, which is good. Now, again, as with all AI, you are the entrepreneur, not the AI. It is your job to figure out what you are going to create to build your business so that you can make a profit. That's why you want to check out the videos in the description about how I'm using AI to profit online. Start with the video we went through yesterday. Watch it as many times as you need to get it to sink in, because I think it's that important. There's a lot of stuff there. Get those notes. Check out AIProfitScoop.com and start building a business the real way, and use AI for what it's meant for, which is saving you time and doing things when you can't. If I could duplicate my efforts or not have to pay a bunch of people to do research, boom, there we go. Like I went through, I did the research for this video using Manus AI, using ChatGPT 5, and using NotebookLM. That way I get an overview, I have my talking points. Think of it like if you're doing content faceless or even with you on screen. You're the news reporter. All those people behind the desk are getting you the info. What you're doing is you're just making it and spinning it in the way that you want so that people can consume and use it so that we can make money. That's how we get paid. Ads, selling products, selling our own products. Like right now, we're using AI to build plugins and tools and all kinds of stuff like that. Super important that you understand this stuff, because if you get lost now, it's only going to be harder and harder to catch up, because, again, you got to hone those entrepreneur skills. And if you want me to do a training about entrepreneur skills, let me know as a comment below. Smash that like button. Check out the videos in the description. Get the notes at AIProfitScoop.com, and I'll see you in the next training.